Good afternoon. My name is Steve Kerner. I'm the Deputy Center Director here at the Johnson Space Center, and I'm very excited to welcome you to the closing of the CHAPEA 1 mission. What a day to celebrate and commemorate. This was the first of 3 NASA analog missions to simulate a Mars environment. 378 days ago, these 4 dedicated individuals who you're about to meet entered this 3D printed 1,700 square foot Mars habitat simulation. They have spent more than a year in this habitat conducting crucial science, most of it nutrition-based and how that impacts their performance, but crucial science as we prepare to send people onto the red planet. These 4 individuals volunteered more than a year ago to dedicate their time to this effort. I'm very appreciative. They've been separated from their families, placed on a carefully prescribed meal plan, and undergone a lot of observation. When they come out, give them a big round of applause. I can't wait to see the smile on their faces. By growing and harvesting their own vegetables, communicating with a 22-minute delay at sometimes, and conducting simulated Mars walks, this crew has helped us obtain crucial information as we prepare to return to the moon and onto Mars. Mars is our goal. As global interest and capabilities in space exploration continue to expand, America is poised to lead. The completion of CHAPEA 1 mission is an important step in this goal. Thank you also to the cross-disciplinary teams that supported these 4. I know these 4 entered 378 days ago, but there was a lot of work that went into the preparation for this event. Some are in the room here, but thank you to the teams that supported them. Thank you to all who played a big role in executing this mission. So, you're not here to see me on stage. I'd like to invite the Deputy Director of Flight Operations, astronaut Kjell Lindring, to the stage to open the door as we greet our 4.
Awesome. Ready? Yeah, great one. You guys ready to come out? Hey! Congratulations. Hey. Congratulations. Welcome home. Congratulations. Welcome home. Congratulations. Awesome. Do you guys have masks? Outstanding. Awesome. Wow, what an awesome day. It is an absolute privilege to be here. There are yells from outside the building. It is an absolute privilege to be here to welcome Kelly, Nathan, Ross, Anka back home and to give them our sincerest congratulations. You know, I was trying to think of some traditions from my own end of mission experiences to share with them, but they were mostly centered around trying not to pass out and become actively sick. So we'll move on from that. Also mindful of the fact that we stand between them and a reunion with their families. So I will keep my comments short. How many fingerprints does it take to make a footprint? How many millions of hours did it take for the legions of engineers and scientists, fabricators and astronauts? How many hands are required to lift our rockets and spacecraft and astronauts into orbit and to gently lower them back to the Earth? How many unique contributions, how many fingerprints did it take to put that very first footprint on the lunar surface? You know, the path to Mars is beset with challenges. And the crew and their families have committed a year of their lives in service to NASA, to the country, and to humanity's exploration of space. And so thank you. Congratulations and thank you to the crew for putting your previous careers on pause for a year and committing yourself to research that is going to enable our future exploration of space. A huge thank you to the families for providing, families and friends for providing support and for the many sacrifices that you've made over the past year. And thank you to the CHAPEA team, to the leadership, to the partners, to the support team, the science team, for planning and executing an amazing mission. So your service and sacrifice are going to make our future deep space exploration successful. And your fingerprints are going to be an indelible part of those first footprints on Mars. So on behalf of the Flight Operations Directorate and the Astronaut Office, congratulations and welcome home. And now I'd like to introduce the Principal Investigator for the CHAPEA mission, Grace Douglas.
Thank you, Chell. Thank you all for joining us for this milestone accomplishment and welcoming our crew back from Mars. Over the past 378 days, Commander Kelly Haston, Flight Engineer Ross Brockwell, Medical Officer Nathan Jones, and Science Officer Anka Solariu have dedicated their lives to achieve the objectives the scientists and engineers at NASA have set before them, enabling us to collect thousands of data points, yielding a unique and valuable integrated data set in a Mars realistic simulation. This data will give us unprecedented insight into how we can best work together to achieve mission objectives while maintaining health and performance for the success of future human missions to Mars. I want to congratulate all 4 of you on your tremendous efforts and express my deepest gratitude to all of you and to your families and friends who have supported these endeavors and for the sacrifice all of you have made to contribute to the goals of human exploration. I also want to thank the science, engineering, and mission control teams who worked collaboratively and tirelessly 24 hours a day through every holiday and weekend to support our crew, to support data integrity, and to support mission success. It has been an honor to work with this crew and with this team. And finally, I want to thank the public for their tremendous support for the human spirit of exploration, technological advancement, and discovery that will enable us to set the first boots on Mars. I want to now introduce Judy Hayes, the Chief Science Officer for Human Health and Performance, who will give remarks next.
Thank you, Grace, and congratulations, because this would not have happened without Dr. Douglas's vision. And so here we are today after the first mission. So first, thank you to this pioneering crew. They have volunteered to be the first in the CHAPEA analog and the first of 2 more that will follow them. Also, and I will echo what others have said, thank you to the crew that is behind the scenes, the researchers, the operations. Thank you, sir. Those working research and operations behind the scenes 24 hours a day to support this team here to be able to be successful. So well done. The NASA Human Health and Performance Directorate is responsible for astronaut health and performance. We also do studies to support that. Our goal here was to study the human system risks associated with exploration, human spaceflight exploration. This CHAPEA experiment has played a huge role, as we've heard before, in the efforts for conducting research that improves our understanding of how we're going to treat our crews when we get to Mars. So I won't keep it too long. I know there's many more important people to say things, so without further ado, I want to hand it over to our courageous Mission 1 crew that has spent more than a year away from their family and friends to support the efforts of NASA. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Commander Kelly. So congratulations. Welcome home.
Hello. It's actually just so wonderful to be able to say hello to you all. We wish to thank everyone for the warm welcome home, but also for being here with us today. We know many of you traveled very far to come and took time out of your lives, not just for today, but for the whole mission. And we also thank everyone from NASA. CHAPEA 1 has been a unique experience with great challenges, joys and sorrows, and a lot of hard work, with a fair bit of fun thrown in as well. I wish to thank the crew, my friends and family, and my partner Elliot, who told me not to name drop him, but he deserves it. During this mission, these people have given an incredible richness of shared experience and conversation, a gift of love and support that made this year possible. I am humbled that being away on a one-year Mars analog brought me closer to those I was with and those I left back at home. To everyone, in particular my family, I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you this year, and I thank you all so very much. And I extend this thank you to NASA for the opportunity, and also to everyone that has worked so hard on the CHAPEA team. This tremendous group of people has guided and supported us throughout this mission. We applaud and thank you for your vision, your execution, and bringing the first iteration of CHAPEA to completion. What an accomplishment. So a huge kudos, and we're so grateful to you all. You've taken such good care of us. I am so proud and honored to be part of this crew and project, and to be a part of a small incremental part of the work being done here on Earth that will one day enable humans to explore and live on Mars. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kelly. Well, I'd like to say thank you to everyone at NASA and on the CHAPEA team for the amazing creativity and commitment, and for everything you do. Thanks to my mom and to Shannon for being so supportive. Thank you, Ryan, for saving my life for me while I was away on Mars. And thanks to these crewmates. Thanks for your knowledge and your skills. Thanks for tolerating my experiment in hair science. And thank you sincerely for all the good times we've had throughout this mission, start to finish. I'm very grateful to have had this incredible opportunity to live for a year within the spirit of planetary adventure towards an exciting future. And I'm grateful for the chance to live the idea that we must utilize resources no faster than they can be replenished and produce waste no faster than they can be processed back into resources. We cannot live, dream, create, or explore on any significant time frame if we don't live these principles. But if we do, we can achieve and sustain amazing and inspiring things, like exploring other worlds. And we can do these things together. We can use our senses of wonder and purpose to achieve peace and prosperity, and to unlock knowledge and joy for the benefit of everyone and every part of planet Earth. So this has been a wonderful experience, and I really hope this helps us get that much closer to the reality of putting boots on Mars. Thank you.
Wow, I'm just excited to be here, and I've got a million thoughts just kind of racing through my head right now. For instance, wow, that went by quickly. I really hope I don't cry standing up here in front of all of you. And as a physician, I'm so glad that my life events led me here instead of being a proctologist. I could still change my mind about that. I'm pretty young. It's funny, I was just telling the other crew the other day that 378 days in, I didn't feel... Thanks, Casey. My wife's going to make me mess up that other thing I mentioned there with the crying. But I told the crew the other day that at 378 days in, I didn't feel like, this could have been any day beyond 10 or at most 11 years since we came in last June. All that said, and Jess, though, it really did just kind of fly by. I really just appreciate NASA giving me the opportunity to be here today and to get to show what we could do. I appreciate, as been mentioned before, all of the CHAPEA team members, many who have been here for so many years before we signed on, and many who will still be here whenever we've completed our leg of the journey. I also want to thank the American public for continuing to dare to dream that this humanity might go beyond Earth and our next giant leap forward. I also want to thank this crew who has just been amazing. I just really appreciate every day that I've gotten to spend with you guys. And in addition to that, I would be remiss not to thank my friends and family who I couldn't have done this without. And finally, I want to end with saying to my family, I love you to Mars and back, still. Oh. Next up, we have Anka Slariu, who is the science officer.
In case you forgot. And I am too nervous, admittedly, to freestyle it as I've done at Ingress, so I prepared a papyrus. I've been asked many times, why the obsession with Mars? Why go to Mars? Because it's possible. Because space can unite and bring out the best in us. Because it's one defining step that Earthlings will take to light the way into the next centuries. Chel's presence here, as a matter of fact, is symbolic for me. I first saw him a few years ago at Colorado State University, where he shared his own story of defying odds and becoming an astronaut. His words stay with me ever since, as testimony that only the laws of physics are obstacles to what we can achieve. I am astonished that I got to live at Mars Dune Alpha, and that I got to contribute to the one thing that is dearest to my heart, bringing life to Mars. No words can express how grateful I am to all who played a part in me being here. My beloved friends and family have always been there when I needed them. And I will always carry them in my heart and in my memory wherever I may go. My deepest gratitude to the Navy, a family that I'm most proud to be a part of and serve alongside, and without whose support I would not be here at all. I want to thank you, the incredible people of NASA, for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Your passion, your dedication, and courage are an inspiration for an entire planet. Thank you, Kelly, Ross, and Nate, as well as your loved ones, for making this one of the best and most meaningful years of my whole life. Last but not least, to everyone watching, dreaming, and cheering for space exploration, thank you. With this, I would like to introduce Julie Kramer-White, Director of Engineering, for final remarks.
Good afternoon. I will make this very brief because I get what they were really wanting to get to is to get out to see their families and friends. But I want to take a chance to mention how the development of this analog has been a really unique and fascinating thing for our engineering teams. We're used to designing spacecraft, and so this is not our typical sort of day job. So it's been a really interesting and educational opportunity for us to collaborate with the Health and Human Performance team to create this analog. And so from working with Jacobs and Icon for building this up and outfitting it for the team to spend a year in there, to creating the mission content, whether it was Mars walks or robotic operations or habitat maintenance, planned and unplanned. The analogs really are so important to our understanding of what it's going to take, our insight into how our assumptions and how our architectures are really going to work when the plans meet reality. So the day-to-day constraints of how the crews have to operate, analogs like this are so important in ways that we can't even imagine when we plan. So
executed here on Earth in a way that's more accessible, cost-effective, and lower risk for the crews. It gives us an opportunity to learn all these critical things about these complex systems that it's going to make going to Mars and back a lot safer. So I'm not the first one to say this, and I'll say it because we believe it. We understand it. Those of us that work in human spaceflight, we understand how much the families sacrifice, particularly for our crew members. So we would like to thank the crew and their families and friends for their invaluable contributions in improving our understanding of living and working on these extended missions. Stay tuned for CHAPEA Mission 2, which will happen next year, and CHAPEA Mission 3, which will happen in 2027. We still have a lot left to learn, and we hope you'll join us on our journey. Please join me once more in welcoming CHAPEA Mission 1 crew home.